You mentioned all these certifications you hold, and you mentioned building this talent stack and having all these different abilities over the years. And so, do you think like these certifications have made you a more valuable tester, or is it the skills you learn with the certifications, or a combination of both?
I think it's both, right? So um, it was interesting because when I first did my foundation level certification and studied for that, I knew some of that stuff, but a lot of it I didn't know, right? And some of it I'd been doing, I didn't know what it was called, but it really gave me a good, literally, it's called foundation. It does give every tester not just a solid foundation in methodology, but it also gives you a common grammar, if you will, vocabulary, so that when you are communicating with, say, developers and with other testers, and management especially, it really helps you deal with that. And the other thing the foundation level does, speaking of management, it really helps you relate to management, the value that you can bring as a tester. Because a lot of times people that aren't in testing, if you were to ask them, well, what do you do? What does a tester do? Well, just go in there and try to break it, right? How often have you heard that? Yeah, just go in the program and try to break it. Well,
Mhm.
that may or may not work at times, but it's certainly not a disciplined approach, and it really doesn't give you any idea of how much risk you've mitigated, for example, for a manager. So it gives you the ability to explain to a manager really what you're doing and how you can really help, because the manager may not know all the things you can do to help the software development process, including, for example, sitting in on requirement sessions. You know, if you can, as a knowledgeable tester, sit in on a requirements meeting and point out where, that requirement's kind of vague. I can't really write a test case for it. How is your developer going to write code for it that's accurate? You can really contribute to preventing defects, not just finding defects.
Yeah,
And that,
I think I think that's a really great point you bring up about being able to talk to management better through having foundation, through having these other
correct.
certifications.